All right. What's up, nerd holes? Welcome to another episode of the Nerd Holes. Today we're gonna continue on our Mission Impossible, and we're gonna talk about Mission Impossible 3. So, if you were here for Mission Impossible 2, you'll know that we're both not really fans of that movie at all.
No.
So it's nice to watch 3 and immediately have all of that stuff just kind of not be canon anymore.
Yes. I mean, immediately not.
Yeah, it was like immediately like, yeah, the second movie didn't happen. I was just like, oh well.
Yep.
But yeah, so yeah, we'll break it down a little bit, but so yeah, what are your thoughts from going from 2 to 3?
Um, to me, just even watching it, like previous to watching the movies, I always put two at the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
And then, looking ahead, like I know what the movies are like ahead, and so three is like it's up there. It's not like low, but I'm always like, eh. But now, in comparison to what actually watching two review, like analyzing it, and then watching three and analyzing it, it's like three is like leaps and bounds
Yeah.
better than two. Like it has no business being anywhere near two. It's almost
It's like
like
not even in the same
right.
franchise. It's like a completely different.
I feel like the ordering, like if there's eight movies, I
Yeah.
feel like it would be like, oh, it's this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and then it would just be like this huge leap, and then it would be like two is at the bottom.
It'd be on like the back of the page.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that comes down to director, honestly. Well,
Yeah.
from what we were talking about last
Yeah.
time, because the directing choices is more cinematography than.
Yes.
So it was nice that this one didn't have that like zoom in to
No.
stuff and oh
It had
man.
a couple. It had a couple slow motion zooms like
Yeah,
the
but
second one,
that's
but yeah.
it's nothing compared
Nothing
to
compared
like
to no.
no. And when they chose to use the slow motion stuff, it was like him doing like an actual insane stunt. It wasn't just like, oh, where's the knife he dropped? Oh, it's way over here. Look at it. Like,
Right,
oh,
right.
wow, cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
this feels it feels like they brought some of the like story beats like from the first one back in,
Yes.
kind of really made you remember that like yeah, Ethan Hunt is like a spy
Right.
and sometimes he has to do stuff that
Right.
isn't great and sometimes people are going to be double agents and you don't know
Right.
who. And I thought honestly that the misdirection was pretty good.
Mm. Nice.
Um I kind of remember Morbius being like in the other movies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wasn't his name Morbius in
Yes.
Matrix? Yeah.
Yeah, Morpheus.
Morpheus, yeah. So I remember him being like a part of the, stuff going forward, at least like seeing him in trailers and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But like when they were doing that, I was like, oh, I don't remember him being a bad guy, you
Right,
know?
right. Yeah.
But then the reveal at the end that it was like the guy that got him to like come back. I was like, oh, that's actually pretty good. That's a pretty good
Dr. Manhattan this whole time.
and the main bad guy there, he's really good.
Oh yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, he's not with us anymore.
No.
He left
No.
this plane a while ago, but he was in like Hunger Games. He was really good in
It
Hunger
was
Games, I
Hunger
remember.
Games. He also was Dusty in
Oh,
Twister.
yeah. He also wasn't he in
It
like
does this stuff.
Jack Black movie and a Ben Stiller movie. Was that him? No, maybe not.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't
He's
matter.
the extreme.
But he's really good in this movie. I always like the villain of a movie to be like smarter and just
Yeah.
very like nonchalant about stuff. Um,
Oh yeah. He plays very disinterested villain
yeah,
very, very well.
he's really good. It's one of those things where it's like he knows more than Ethan,
Right.
so he can be like that. But also that, so that's just that time when he's on the phone and Ethan's like, "If you hurt her," and he's like, "Don't, just don't. Like, I don't care. Like what you."
Right.
I don't care that
Yeah.
you're threatening me. I really don't care. Go get the thing and be here, or she's dead. Like I'm not listening to your threats. I don't really care. I
Right,
was like,
right.
that's pretty good. If you
Yeah.
touch a single hair on her head,
And I don't care. Just get me the
just
rabbit
don't
foot.
get the foot. I don't give a.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that part where he's pulled up from like the cargo ramp or like opening,
yeah,
Ethan like pulls him back up and he's laying there. And he's
yeah,
like, whoever you
yeah,
think I'm selling it to, and whoever you
yeah.
think
What I'm selling and who I'm selling it to is the least of your issues.
Ethan.
Ethan. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's that scene when is it Lucas? Luther. It's Luther. Yeah,
Luther,
that's what it
yeah.
is. So when he's like he keeps calling him by his name, I'm just like these I thought these guys are supposed to be like top tier like agents. Like you don't
Kind of.
call each other by your name. You don't like even like Ethan being like getting married and using Ethan Hunt like
Yeah,
as his
yes.
real name. I was like, what? I don't understand. I don't understand why would you do this? This is so bad.
Yeah, it's plot reasons.
It
Reasons
is
for
plot.
plot.
It is plot reasons. The um the whole like oh I gotta keep my personal life separate from my
Yes.
spy life and everybody telling him like hey you can't like do that it's not gonna work out.
Right.
The scene where Luther is like he's like hey man like don't do this it's not gonna be good like it's not gonna work out trust me and he's like hey so I married her like 2 days ago and he's like congratulations. And, I like that scene that's pretty funny. But it's just like, but
Yeah.
then the end of the movie, it's just like she's at like
Yeah.
IMF with
She's fine.
everybody, and it's
Yeah.
like, wouldn't it be better if she also was in the know and she would know that like bad guys could be like
Yeah.
going around?
Well, I think at that point, I think at the end of the movie when when he's walking the bridge in China and he's telling her, and then
Yeah,
at the end when she's in like the facility, like she's in the know
yeah,
now.
yeah. But she had my same reaction when he was like, "I work for this agency. It's called Mission Impossible
Well,
Agency."
yeah.
Like, get out of here! Like, shut up. It
Yeah.
stands for Impossible Mission. Shut up. Shut
Yeah.
up.
It's like the Impossible Mission Force always has to take on a Mission Impossible.
Shut up. Yeah. The only scene I really am not like a super fan of, obviously, is like he's like, "Hey, so I'm gonna die unless you kill me.
Oh,
Here's a gun. Here's how the slider works. Here's how you reload it."
yeah.
And then she just takes out like two bad guys like immediately.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Never held a gun before, never,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought maybe they were working out that like she also was kind of like a deep cover agent,
Yeah. But no.
but they never went that route. And she saved the world, but also she could have easily have destroyed it by like one missed shot. She could have hit the rabbit's foot container.
Yeah.
So
She
pretty
does
funny.
she does kind of I agree. She does kind of like unload on the guys, but I think it to me, and I think you can agree, it's more the first guy than the second guy.
Hmm.
Because like the first guy
Oh, he
feels
was
like
the first
she's
guy was
like
like behind cover.
right. And
Yeah,
she's like looking in the reflection. She's doing very like
very
smart
spy
spy
stuff. Yeah,
stuff. and it was fine. Yeah, like, but just turning around and like opening fire on this on Billy Crudup's character, it's like
Yeah, like
that
laying
one.
down and shooting.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a little. It's fine for the movie to only have like one thing like that.
yeah.
You know what callback I really enjoy?
Okay, okay.
The beginning at the dinner party at Ethan's house.
Oh,
She can never remember the name of the lake that they were at.
oh,
And then when he talks to her on the phone, when before he hands over the rabbit's foot or whatever he was doing,
oh,
he's like, I want to talk to her before I tell you.
yeah,
And he's like, what was the name of the lake? And she just immediately says it. He's
yeah,
like, I know that's not her. It was like, I was like, oh, that's really good. Like, I enjoyed that. Like,
yeah,
he
yeah,
knew it wasn't his wife talking on the phone because she knew the name of the lake and she never remembers the name of the lake. So
yeah,
I thought that was a cool callback.
yeah.
Because I was like, that scene was happening. I was like, why would he trust anything?
Mm,
Like, I want to hear her voice on the phone. It's like, well, why? Like, you use voice changers constantly. You
yeah,
use like face masks constantly. It's like this thing that like everybody has the capability of doing all the time.
right, right.
So it's like, why would you trust anything,
Yeah.
Even like when he shoots her and then he like reveals that it's like a mask under the tape.
Hmm.
You're like, oh, okay, yeah, right, because they can just do that at any time they want.
Right.
That's
Plus, it
just
has
funny.
to be misdirection. It has to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you don't start a movie with murdering his wife and then it actually being his wife.
Right, right.
That's a
Yeah.
bold it's a bold choice to start the movie at the end.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I like it, but I think for this movie, I don't know. I think it would hit harder in that scene where like he gets away on the helicopter
Mm.
and then he goes to like the hospital to like find her. But it's like
Oh,
I already know that she's kidnapped. Like I already know that. And I
right,
already know that
right.
he like shoots her. So it's
True.
like
True.
it doesn't really build any suspense or tension because it's like I already know that
Yeah, you
he's gonna
already
get
know.
away and get her.
Right. Right, right, right.
So even like the whole like operation at the Vatican to like grab him, it's like
Mm.
okay, cool. But I'm waiting for this to go wrong or south because I know he gets away and shoots his wife.
Yeah.
That's just how
Right.
it. So starting the movie like that,
Yeah, I don't know. I
interesting.
I don't know. I'm not sure why they would like start off kind of like right at the end of the movie. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's an interesting
because
choice.
they want you to see Ethan Hunt is being he's really gonna get beat up in this movie. I don't know. It is interesting.
Hmm.
I kind of like the movie opening up on him being like tortured. I think that's like a good,
Sure, yeah.
just to kind of like reevaluate that, like, yeah, he's a spy. This is kind of what he does.
Right. Like this is gonna re this kind of like resets the whole movie,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. And you're
So
like, oh man, that's crazy. And then the movie starts and it's like, oh
yeah,
yeah, I'm retired, having a dinner party, getting married. I don't work at like IMF anymore.
right, right,
He does, but he like trains.
right.
Yeah. It's like, oh man, they're gonna have to bring him back.
Just when he thought he was out.
They keep pulling me back in. Yeah. I did like the him and the other agent talking at the gas station. I always kind of like that when like they're
Oh,
talking like
yeah.
back to back.
Hmm.
And then he's like, "Hey, take some pictures at the party for me." And he like puts that camera on the shelf.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Yep. And then he watches this like insanely tiny screen and gets all the information. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun things like the part where he's talking to it's a dinner party and he's talking about him being a traffic controller and
Yeah.
and he's just going on and on about how important it is to be a traffic controller and all the
Yeah.
ladies like him and the guy is like, oh my God. But I like it because like the it really shows like how good he is at his job.
Hmm.
Like he knows how to like mingle in groups of people and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And also
Yeah, it's pretty
understands
good.
like how to be undercover.
It would be so frustrating though too, like being like your whole life is on like edge, like looking over your shoulder, being a spy,
Mm.
and then you call like your brother-in-law and he's like, "Hey man, what's going on?"
No.
And you're like, "Where is she? Where is she?" Oh, I don't know, man. Don't
Yeah.
worry though, like your English friend was just here looking for her. So I told her like where she was, you know? Like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah, that was one of my funny parts was when he's like, "Hey man, I'm like sorry, don't be mad. I'm like here at the house just like hanging." And he's like, I don't care. That's not the part. I don't care about that
The
part."
least. That's the least of my concerns, you idiot.
Did you like that it was a secret Aaron Paul cameo?
Yeah,
It was funny.
it is
I
funny.
don't think he had even been in Break. I don't think Breaking Bad had come out yet.
Yeah, I know. It's such a weird. That is super funny. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, that's is that Jesse?
Yeah, I think it was like 2 years before the show had come out. So
Wow.
also the return, not also not the return, but like the Simon Pegg, who's really good in the movie.
I was surprised because I know Simon Pegg is like a big character moving forward.
Yeah.
I was very surprised at just how little he was in this
Yep.
movie.
Yep.
I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's cool.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's kind of like the same thing with Luther. It's like Luther in the first movie is like he's in it and he's a part of it,
Hmm.
but like, he's not he's just a means to an end. But then like all of a sudden
Comes in
going
at the end,
forward,
yeah.
it's like here he is. Like
Yeah.
Luther is a big part of the
It's
yeah.
cool. You forget that in the first movie, like Luther got like reinstated
Yeah.
at
Yep.
IMF. Like he
Yep.
was blacklisted. And now it's like he's a pretty high up dude at IMF, it looks like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the top agents basically, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the part where Benji's Simon Peggy's like, "Oh, I can't talk to you." He's like, you're on Interpol." He's like, "This is amazing, but it's terrible. Like, I can't talk to you. I'm gonna, like, they're tracing this call and blah blah stuff." And then he's just like, "Listen, just do this thing, just do it." And he's like, "Okay." And he's like, I just like when he
Yeah,
puts
he's
the phone
great.
like on hold, and he's just like, "Oh, okay, very good." He's just very calm, and he's like, "Hello, hi, nice to see you." And then he goes to the other phone. It's just like, it's really funny.
Yeah, he's really good. I love Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. He's like, I don't want to lose my sovereign ship, you know. He's like, you and I both know you can just erase it when you're done. Because he's like the tech guy. What
Yeah,
is he
yeah,
worried about, you know?
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man. Yeah, it's funny too. I was kind of a little bit confused why um like so the bad guy gets away,
Uh-huh.
bridge gets blown up, and then he immediately goes to the hospital, and then IMF shows up and like put him under arrest for being a rogue agent. I was like,
Hmm.
what? Like
Yeah.
why? Why did they assume he's rogue again? Just because like it's a callback to like the first like I don't really understand what he did that was he didn't
So
really do anything.
the other guy, the what Musgrave, the
Yeah,
like guy
Musgrave.
who
It's like
was
his
the
like
act
superior.
yeah. That guy put obviously into Lawrence Fishburne's character that like Ethan was a bad guy. He
Oh,
put it
okay.
like into him, like, hey,
Oh,
and the they basically present the idea. He says it to him in the scene where that guy Musgraves didn't approve the mission to the Vatican.
gotcha.
You collected this guy, then there's an attack on the convoy which kills a whole bunch of agents, and then you left
Yeah.
and
Okay.
that guy is missing. It's like, what am I supposed to think here?
Yeah. No, that does make more sense that like Musgraves set him up in that scene. I get,
Right.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that he can later basically be like, I'm on your side kind of thing.
Hmm.
So when he shows up
Yeah.
there and he can like mouth the words to him and then give him the knife and stuff. It's like
Yeah.
he's like playing into the double agent thing so that Ethan trusts Musgraves like way, way more than
Right.
he was.
Right. And you're supposed to think that, yeah, you're supposed to think during this time that like the main guy is
Yeah,
in charge of the bad operation because like that was her message was that
right. She got a
he was
message
doing
from
it.
his office, but didn't realize it was
Yeah.
Musgrave.
Musgraves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, even too like when they come back from Shanghai, the agents
Mm,
come back from Shanghai,
yeah.
they're all like waiting for them. Like, what do you, yeah, like like we need to talk basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And even then you're still like, oh man, that's not good. But then you're like, oh, so he legitimately is just trying to do his job as their boss, and he's just like, I don't understand why everybody is like
Right.
running around and doing all this stuff.
Right.
You know. So that's pretty good. I kind of like that. I like that Musgraves turns out to be the double.
Yeah. Yeah, and all he's concerned about is how much the Kerry Russell's character told him. Like, is he
Yeah.
compromised the IMF, basically? Because his whole angle is if you work with these bad guys, you can basically get these bad guys to move the chess pieces, and then you have actionable intel that you can tell your superiors, and then they go and bomb or arrest or do things to parts of the world that
Yeah.
he personally feels needs like the American boot,
Yeah.
basically like this is the way to get things done for our great country kind of thing. That's
Yeah.
like so yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. Yeah.
The
It was
the
interesting.
the thing that I think is really cool. I love everything up to it, and then this one part happened that I'm like, and then it's fine, and then it's just the rest of it's fine. But I love the part they're talking about the Vatican and all this stuff, and then which I have to bring up only
Mhm.
because I've been playing Indiana Jones in the Great Circle,
Yeah.
and you go to
Goes to the
the
Vatican.
you're literally in the Vatican for a mission. So it was like
Nice.
really funny when I was like, "Hey, that's right, the Vatican."
I also
Um,
thought it was really funny that like you and I went to a wedding last night, and then in this movie
yes,
they're at a wedding.
yes, I do agree. Yes, um, and it's fine. They pull up on the thing. The DHL truck pulls up, and they're screaming in Italian at each other, which is great. The two of them going back and
Yeah.
forth. They're like,
I like
"Me? You're saying
Yo,
that to
Papa,
me?"
Papa, Zituda. And he's like, and then he like leaves and he's like, hey, make sure you smoke because Italian people smoke like crazy.
And he climbs up the wall, which was fine. That was a cool little
Oh
sequence.
yeah, the like and he's like "Da, da, 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 da." And he lays in front of the camera thing. I thought that was
Right.
pretty cool. Yeah.
And he takes like a picture so that to get the right angle and then like puts it on the thing. It's
It
all
was good.
good.
Yeah, it was good.
He takes a measurement, that's cool. Then when he drops off the wall and he does the Mission Impossible
Uh-huh.
1 thing, I was like, no,
He had
no.
to.
I
He has to. That's what the bad guy said in two. Like, oh, knowing Ethan, he'll have to do some aerial. flips and tricks to get
Yeah.
into the
I was
building, and I
just
was like,
like,
yeah, he does. Yeah. Then doesn't he like roll out of that and like roll into like the priest uniform basically?
yes,
Yeah.
basically. I think he just pulls off the DHL costume and then he just has
Yeah.
like a priest outfit underneath.
Yeah. He just walks in.
Buongiorno, padre.
That's pretty good. I
Yeah.
do really enjoy, so in these movies, I do really enjoy like the like infiltration
Yes,
like scenes. They do them very well. Like
they
even
do
like
do very well.
planning, they show you how like they're planning the
Yeah.
break-in or heist or whatever.
And yeah, the whole, literally them going into the Vatican and like, getting Davian is like very, very good
Hmm.
because they bomb, like they explode the wall, they go through, she goes in, she spills wine on him, he goes into the bathroom,
Yeah.
they collect him, but they need the voice.
But yeah, that scene when he's waiting for the voice to upload,
Oh
it's a
yeah.
pretty good like tense like,
Yeah.
and
And the
the
guy's just behind.
bodyguard like comes like in further.
Yeah.
Like, and I like how
Yeah.
when he does start talking, it's not like 100% at first. You can kind of
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
like the roboting a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
The thing I think about, and it must have been fun for him, is like, okay, sure. Like Tom Cruise has got to be, there's that scene where Luther is pushing the mask down. Like I didn't look into how they did that, but clearly eventually it just becomes Philip Seymour Hoffman, right? It's not Tom
Right,
Cruise with
yeah.
the mask on. So then you think like now Philip Seymour Hoffman is supposed to be playing Tom Cruise or Ethan Hunt essentially with a
Yeah.
mask on. So like his acting has to change
Yeah.
because now he's not evil Davian. He's just
Yeah.
he's a super agent with a
Yeah.
mask on. So it's cool how when it shows him
It's like,
climbing through the like the parts in the back and stuff like you
yeah.
just I was thinking like, man, what a departure from his character.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's like why when he talks to her about like getting dry cleaning at her hotel, he's all kind of like
Yeah.
more like suave about it, you know?
Yeah. It's like,
It's
really, you
pretty.
want to do my dry cleaning?
The part where the Lamborghini pulls up to the
Like
what do you
the
call it?
gate?
Yeah, the underground
Oh, the manhole cover, yeah.
I forget what they call it though. It's the catacombs.
Oh, yes, okay.
And like they open it up and Luther's down there. And Damon's just
Yeah,
like,
like
what's up?" And he's like, "Nothing, what's up with you?" It's pretty good. I thought that was funny.
yeah.
What's up? Yeah.
Yeah, there's like the other part that makes me laugh with Luther too is in here with the background where he jumps and Luther's like, he did it! He made it, he's on the roof, he did it.
I
And it
knew he'd
cuts
make
back to Luther. He's like, yeah,
it.
yeah, I knew it. I knew it. It's kind of like the thing that I think it's the Bender thing, but you say it a lot. It's like, shut up, baby, I know
Yeah, that's my
it.
favorite. It's legitimately like my favorite thing. Like anytime anybody gives you like a compliment, you're like, "Shut up, baby, I know it." Oh, so good. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
but
also Carrie Russell dying, her little sequence of her
like
dying is,
immediately, yeah.
yeah. Good.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The brain chip.
Yep.
I thought her head was gonna like explode, but it literally just detonates enough for like your neuron to like
Yeah, just
your main like brainstem to just be disconnected, and that's
yeah.
it. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's nice.
But like that's the point too that like what's his name? Lawrence Fishburne's character, that's what he's kind of like. He's like, you didn't scan her number one and number two, like you didn't know what that device was gonna do. Like it could have literally
Mhm.
killed every
Blowing
single
up the
one of
entire
you.
helicopter. Yeah. I know he has a good point in that scene, in that like debriefing scene.
Yeah.
But it's like you're setting him up to be like the jerky boss that you don't
Yes.
like.
Yes.
but he is like absolutely right about it. Like
Yes.
he's like, first of all, Ethan, you gave her like the best recommendation that you've given anybody, and she was immediately captured and implanted in her brain. Like what I don't understand.
Right. Like, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But all that really does is it's just a like motivation for Ethan because he trained her. And then at the end, he also has a chip in his brain that he has to like electrocute himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The the funny thing is when so I saw this movie in theaters when it came out, and I I remember when he gets the chip is going is like whatever priming in his head in Ethan's head, and he's getting beaten up, and then he kind of fights back. He's barely like fighting back, and then they go out into the street, and then the guy gets run over. Damien gets hit by the truck.
Mm,
I remember like when I watched it in the theater, I was just like, oh, really? That's so lame. Like I was just like,
yeah.
it's such a lame like villain demise. When like
Yeah.
the other guys, you think about John Voight's character there, like
I'll tell
he
you,
he gets
it's
crushed into the like a into like the rails as a exploding helicopter like falls onto him.
yeah.
Like he dies pretty rough.
It's much better though than a 20-minute slow motion roundhouse kick fest on the beach. I'll
Yes,
tell you that. I'll tell you
yes,
that.
yes. But
I
this
can I can let it go because it's like he's not an agent. He's not like trained for like combat.
right,
He's like a tech guy.
right. And that's now watching it like not whatever, like 18 years later, basically.
Yeah.
Like I I'm like, oh yeah, this makes way more sense. Like Ethan is barely holding on. He's not really able to fight this guy. And like you said,
Hmm.
like this guy is not, he's just a means to an ends type of guy. He's not like, I'm going to break you, Ethan Hunt. He's not one of
Yeah.
those type of guys. So yeah,
Yeah.
it works out better.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind it. The only thing in that scene that I really like think is kind of cheesy is like Ethan is when he's fighting, he's
Oh
like
yeah.
holding his head because his head hurts so bad. He's like, "Oh, my head," and he's using like his he's using his elbows to like fight. It's
Yeah,
just so dramatic. It's so like
it is very dramatic.
it's so over the top. It's just like, okay, we get it. Like his head hurts. You don't have to
Yeah.
portray that, you know?
But he's an agent and he always has to think on his feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was also way more than 4 minutes, but that's all
Oh yeah.
right.
Yeah. Did you know you only had 5 seconds? You had 5 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah,
Yeah.
that surprised me too because it's like he gets captured, then he finally goes to Shanghai, and he's like, I only have like 2 hours to get this thing. I was like, wow, that you used a lot of those 48 hours just getting here.
Yeah. Yep. Not much
Yeah.
you can do now. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
you.
it's interesting. Like basically, like J.J. Abrams doesn't obviously direct any of the movies going forward.
Mm,
Um,
yeah,
because this
that's
was
right.
kind of like the rise of J.J. Abrams in the, mid
Hmm.
2000s, where it's like
When was Lost?
a couple years before this, I think like 2 years before.
Is that really?
I think so. I think like 2004, I want to say.
It's
But
crazy.
like, when you look at it, let's see.
Mhm. I remember when Lost like premiered.
So he had done, let's see. Let's look. So he had already done Felicity and Alias and then Lost in 2004. Alias was 2001. Felicity was 1999 or 1998,
Oh.
which is why um Carrie Russell's in the movie because there she's from
Oh.
Felicity. But this is J.J. Abrams' opening. This is like his directorial debut is this movie.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And then after this, he does Star Trek with Chris Pine.
Hmm. So he was a TV guy for a long time.
Yeah, for a good number of years. Yep.
It's interesting. I forgot that he did like Alias and Felicity.
Yep.
So doing a spy movie really wasn't that big of a deal for him.
No. No, like he generally understood. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just funny because even though he doesn't do any more of the movies going forward, generally this is how the franchise like continues. Like 90% of the movies going forward are generally very similar to this.
Yeah.
Like not necessarily the story and stuff, just like how things play out. Like it is a team of people. This thing is happening. They have to do this thing.
Yeah. Well, that's because like now it finally honestly feels like an American James Bond.
Yes.
He's got the bureau and he's got his agents and
Yeah, I would agree. That's a good way to put it because I feel like the first one is a television show finally coming to the theaters.
hmm
That 60s television show, how it plays out in the theater is generally how it would be on TV. Like it's just a more over the top, more bigger budget. You
Yeah.
have Mr. Phelps be the bad guy, which was like, oh my gosh, like Mr. Phelps is like the only hero. He's like he's the guy who's always got your back. So to have him be the double agent, the
Yeah.
betrayer, is like a big thing. But and then whatever two was, who knows what that was supposed to be.
Oh, you know what? It just sparked a memory in my brain. John Voight, the Phelps guy that you're talking about,
Yeah, yeah.
he's also the bad guy in Anaconda.
He is the bad guy in Anaconda. He certainly is. Yep.
That's crazy. When are we doing our Anaconda series?
When the Jack Black and Paul Rudd
Oh,
movie is soon to be released.
no, no, don't.
You said it. No, you said it. You stepped in a huge pile of it, so
Uh, the Search for the Blood Orchid. That's a good one.
yeah.
The first one's great.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll get to watch the first one because J-Lo's in it, and if she gets outed in the Diddy trial, then we can't
Well,
watch movies that she's in anymore.
I'm sure she's innocent.
So Made in Manhattan, out.
Let's see what else. What else? That's it. I think that's it.
Oh no, there's tons more. There's tons more.
Uh,
Uh,
My name is Jennifer Lopez. I forget
yeah.
that she was an actress for a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah, oh yeah. Big time.
yeah, that's good. It's good stuff. I forgot she was in Ice Cube's in it.
Oh yeah.
It's a good cast.
Some would say a great
A
cast.
great cast. Owen Wilson. Yeah, it's terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, stay tuned for our Anaconda deep dive series. There's like what, six of them?
I don't even know. I don't even want to know, to be honest.
Looks like there are four Anaconda movies.
Soon to be five.
There is Anaconda, Anaconda, The Hunt for the Blood Orchid, Anaconda Three Offspring, Anaconda Trail of Blood. I think the last two were like made for Sci-Fi
Oh, they
Channel
had to
movies.
have been. There had to have been. You
Ah,
know what's funny?
you're not
Indiana
even lying
Jones.
about, yeah,
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Guess what you fight?
Anaconda,
An anaconda.
giant snakes. Why wouldn't
Yep.
you?
Yep.
Get back.
Yeah, you gotta throw Aquaman tridents into its mouth.
That sounds great.
It's great.
Why did it have to be a snake? A big snake.
A huge thing.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, the Shanghai stuff was good. I liked the Shanghai stuff.
Yeah, them like shooting the baseballs there.
Yeah, sliding down the triangle like
Yeah.
roof and shooting the guards was pretty good.
Then he's like, see you in 5 minutes, and then it's like he only has 5 minutes left. It's been 12 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think their clocks were not set right or something.
And then he's like, I can't make it to the roof.
Yeah, I did like that. Yeah.
They're like, what do you mean?
Ah.
Yeah, and then the guy buffing the floors. That's always
That was pretty
that's
good
always a good sequence.
when he like slams through the window.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
It doesn't matter what movie it is. There has to be like J.J. Abrams knew there has to be a guy cleaning
Yeah.
the room and somebody breaks through the window or lands on the window.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, in general, it's like a much more fun movie. It's much more interesting. It's um it's a great cast. They have like I like Maggie Q and John, what's his name? John Davies or whatever.
Hmm.
They're all
Yeah,
good
they're
in the
good.
movie. Um Jonathan Rhys Myers, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, they're all really decent. I remember it was like a big deal. Um, but I don't I mean like I get it. I get like their semi like the same general appearance. But it was like a big deal when this movie came out that Michelle Monaghan or
Mhm.
Ma yeah, I don't know. Anyways, the Julia
Yeah.
looks like Katie Holmes.
Oh yeah, she does actually. Yeah.
And so it was like this big thing that it was like, oh, look, he's not like Tom Cruise is only like working with women who look like his wife. And it's like, I don't think that that's what happened
Like
at all.
like once, yeah. I don't even agree with that. And like I've told you, I'm not like a huge
Right. Yeah. Just was
that's
funny.
that's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, 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 yeah,
And I remember like
yeah.
this is like the turn like this was like an internet because this is like 2006. So like YouTube and all that stuff was like just kind of starting. And I remember in high school watching the trailer for this movie and getting like super pumped for it and him like
Mm,
jumping over like the broken part of the bridge,
yeah.
playing all the music. Bam, 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 bam. It's like trying to get you all pumped for the yeah,
It gets the people moving.
that's right.
Um, yeah, I was trying to remember while I was watching this. Like, I just watched a Corridor Crew episode like maybe last summer
Oh, hmm.
where they were breaking down like Mission Impossible scenes. I think they had one of the VFX guys on the episode,
Oh,
but they were
okay.
talking about this shot specifically of him on the bridge where he like slides the box out from underneath the car.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think they were saying that they had to shoot that scene like so many times to get like the box to like slide in frame like perfectly.
Oh, okay.
And then after
That's
that, he
cool.
has to like run and I think he gets pulled on a wire like into that car from the
Yes,
explosion.
yes. Yeah,
And it's pretty crazy that like so like the obviously like the explosion stuff is like a separate
yeah.
clip mask that they filmed. And then they have to have Tom Cruise like on a wire
You
and
get
have to
like
like blend
whipped
it
into
all
stuff.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. And I think they were talking something about the Shanghai jumping off the roof thing too, but I don't remember exactly what it was.
Mm,
But it's just cool. That's one thing I will say is like there is like CGI, but like
yeah.
you can't really tell, honestly. A lot of the stuff is it looks practical and blended in so well. It looks
Yeah.
good.
It's funny how I was reading what happened was really interesting. So, 2 years after Mission Impossible 2, they reached out to David Fincher to write or to
Mm,
direct the new movie, which was set for 2004. And that guy had done like Panic Room and Fight Club in the
mm.
game. So they were like, okay, so this guy's gonna do it. 2004 release, got it. And then that director dropped out to film Zodiac with Robert Downey Jr. and
Oh,
Jake
yeah.
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he dropped out. Say he cited creative differences over the direction of the series. So they
Hmm.
chose Joe Carnahan, and that guy had done um let's see. I kind of remember some of these movies like Narc. Oh, he went on to do Smoking Aces,
Oh, okay.
but I don't think he had. Yeah, that came out later in the year. But they were gonna give it to him, and he worked on the film for 15 months, and he was gonna have Kenan Braga um play like a mastermind domestic terrorist
Mm.
with Carrie Ann Moss, who is Trinity from The Matrix,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and Scarlett Johansson. They were going to be in the movie.
Wow.
Carrie Ann Moss would have played a character named Leah Quint, and like everything was going, and then all of a sudden, creative dispute happened. He quit in July 2004. Tom Cruise called J.J. Abrams and offered him the role to direct it because he had been binge watched the first two seasons of Alias.
Wow. That's really funny.
And so Abrams signed on, and then during the time Brannon, Moss, and Johansson departed because of the delays in production, and then also Ricky Gervais allegedly was cast as the Benjamin Dunn character.
Mm.
But because of production delays, he also left because he was going to do his movie he was in a movie called For Your Consideration. So
Mm.
Simon Pegg got the role.
That's that's cool. And he had done like The Office previous to this.
Yes. Yep.
That's
Yep.
funny.
A couple of years earlier. Yep.
I can't imagine Ricky Gervais in this. That's really funny.
Yeah, it's a thing where like he would have been fine and he would have done this role fine. I
Yeah.
don't think it would have been a problem, but going forward it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
not
he would
that
have
kind of
been
guy where Simon Pegg can pull it off.
he would have
And they
been
also
like a major part of the movie.
right. And they also said that Billy Bob Thornton was supposed to play the Davian part.
Hmm, interesting. Seems like a lot of different people were at one point involved.
Yeah.
So even at this point, Tom had like control basically of the movie because it sounds like you said he called Jabrams and told him he was doing it.
Yeah. Tom is like he's a producer on it
Hmm,
with another lady called Paula Wagner. Like him and her basically run the movie, basically.
interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder when that.
I want to say it was like that from two, I think. Yeah, produced by them. No, he does the first one too.
Interesting.
Yeah. Tom Cruise and Paula Wagner are like the producers. So
So it
basically
must have been.
they sink all their money into it to get it greenlit.
Well, so this must have been like a show that like Tom enjoyed or something because like why would you
Probably.
sink all that money into something that you don't really know about or care about?
Yeah. Says right here, Tom Cruise had been a fan of the show since he was young and thought it would be a good idea for a film.
Hmm.
He chose Mission Impossible to be the inaugural project of his new production company and convinced Paramount to put up a 70 million dollar budget. And then him and Paula Wagner worked on the story with filmmaker Sidney Pollack for a few months when Tom Cruise hired Brian De Palma to direct the movie. And he had met De Palma on the movie Interview with the Vampire.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That's funny.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. Trying to think of anything else.
Well, the one thing I really like about um the sequence is it goes back to what I talked about in the first one. So, because I played the video game so much,
Yeah.
The N64 Mission Impossible game so much that when the sequence where I want to say it's after he tells Julia that he's going away on a business trip, like even longer, and then it cuts to him, like flying. No, I think he's maybe going to the airport or something, and it plays this music where it's like dun dun dun. Do 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 do, and it's like the truck is like
Mm.
driving to like the plane or something. I forget exactly what the scene is, but every time I hear that, that's what they would play in the
In the
video game. They
game,
would
yeah,
play that kind of like music, and I was always like, "Oh, that's from the thing." And it may just be from the TV show. Like that might just be TV show music, and I've never sat and watched Mission Impossible, the TV show.
that's funny.
Um, but it's like there's a couple shots in this movie where it's very much like it just takes me back to playing the game.
Mm. That's cool. I feel like they changed the intro music like every movie so far a little bit.
Yeah, this one definitely,
It's more like Rocky in the beginning.
yeah. Yeah, it's not whatever was the second one.
No,
Yeah,
it was not the
yeah.
it was not the second one.
No. So yeah, I mean, generally this is it. This is like one is like to me, one is a masterpiece, two is garbage, and then three to whatever, six or seven
Yeah,
or eight,
is
whatever.
are like
Like
legitimate Mission Impossible movies.
this is like the formula going forward.
Back to formula. Uh,
And the nice thing is, that's always like a treat is going forward, starting with the fourth one. Like they now become what stunt is Tom Cruise gonna do in this movie? That's really crazy. So not that like nothing in this movie wasn't good or he doesn't do cool stunts, but like
Yeah.
starting with the fourth one, it's like, okay, like we're gonna do something really ridiculous and he's gonna film it and it's gonna be real and it's not
Yeah.
gonna be CGI and fake. So
All I know is he hangs out of a plane in one,
yeah,
does that huge jump on a motorcycle in one.
yeah,
That's like the newest one.
yeah. It's like later, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there's a really insane one that he does in the next movie. So
Sweet. That's cool. Like I said, I enjoy the fact that like this movie starts and they're just like they don't even reference the second movie
no,
like at all.
no, nope.
It's just like just over.
Yeah, and that's what I'm curious about. Like when we saw Sonic and they played the trailer for the eighth one, I was like, it's like, well, it's all coming back, right? It's all been leading up to this, and I'm like, are they even going to
Oh,
reference to?
yeah.
No,
What if she's the main bad guy?
it could. I don't know.
That would be fun. That honestly would be fun.
Yeah, I don't know.
So these next few movies, are they like episodic? Kind of like they have the same like
They don't forget. I'm gonna put it to you this way: they don't let go of stuff as much as one to two to three. They
Mhm.
don't. You know how it's just like Luther is like the only thread right
Yeah.
now that
He's
like
the
is
only
carrying
carryover. Yeah.
right besides obviously Ethan. Yeah, they hold on to more things going forward, but as you get closer to, I want to say five or six, then they become more episodic.
Yeah.
They become more, the story becomes more tighter and like they play off of each other, kind of a thing.
It's funny to me because it's like so based on like the Fallout trailer that I saw a few times.
Oh yeah.
I had just assumed that like the last few movies before that were
Mm.
like him being like set up, kind of like a Jason Bourne style movie where like he has to
Oh.
like prove things that are going
Mhm.
on, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's kind of what I thought.
No, they do some really cool story building in these movies.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see four again because I remember when it came out, I was like, I don't want to say I didn't like it. I just was like, about it. But I don't think I'm gonna feel that way about it after watching two. So
Yeah.
I think it'll be totally fine.
I don't think you could feel that way.
No, basically five and six are like probably my next big favorites after one. I would say four is not bad. Don't
Yeah.
think that four is bad,
No.
but
No, if they're like this, they're just like action adventure movies. Like
yeah,
I'm good.
yeah. And all this good, great stuff still happens in it. All the team building and like infiltration, all that good stuff still happens. So
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
yeah.
You know what we should have done? It would have been funny.
Mm.
Is like instead of watching two, we watched that other movie. What was it? Day and Night? Was that his?
Oh, with Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have just watched that instead.
Wow. Yeah. I'd watch that over that all the time. It's a great movie.
What was
Um,
it called?
Night and Day,
Night and Day. That's
but
with Cameron
but
Diaz.
like the medieval person, like Knight.
Uh-huh. That's funny.
Um,
We should have just watched that and just pretended that that was Mission Impossible
that
2.
was Mission Impossible too. Yeah.
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 Hmm.
The trying to think.
That was 2010. Holy crap.
Yeah. I want to say that came out even before Mission Impossible 4.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't remember. Don't matter.
Crazy.
Well, I'm glad that three was a palate cleanser for you.
Yes,
And I'm also
absolutely.
happy that like you genuinely like super enjoyed Mission Impossible 1 like as much as I did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Because I feel like to me, and I think you probably can agree too, that like even if like in the long run, the movies are fine. It's kind of like the James Bond movies. It's like they're fine. I don't dislike them.
Hmm.
They're fine. But like when you look back at Casino Royale, you're like, there it is. That's the
Casino
movie.
Royale is perfect. It's a perfect movie.
And so I feel like the same way. It's like the Mission Impossible movies, they'll be fine. They're not really going to have an issue. But when you always think back to Mission Impossible 1, you always be like, there it is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so for Bond, it's like Casino Royale and like Skyfall for me are like the two.
Okay. Okay. All right.
But Casino was obviously first on that list.
Yeah. Well, that's what all the nerd hole fans can do when they're tired of they need
Hmm.
something to watch in between our casts of 3 and 4. They can go and watch our James Bond podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, we watched all of
We
them.
all Daniel Craig movies. We
We
watched them.
started right from Moore and went right right until
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to get canceled, so we didn't start with Connery.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah, so I did. I enjoyed this movie. Glad that we're done with two and we can move on. So that's always good.
It is always good.
Cool. All right. Well, just join us next time for Fallout 4. Or no.
You're close. Ghost
Pretty
Protocol.
yeah. Mission Impossible 4.
Yeah.
Ghost Protocol. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Not Fallout 4.
No.
That's a video game.
Also, there's a Mission Impossible called Fallout, so it's okay.
There is a Mission Impossible called Fallout. I still haven't, still don't forgive them, but that's all right. Can't just steal that.
Well, maybe
Like,
maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe there's something similar that the two franchises hold close to the chest.
yeah, it's true. All right, everybody. See you next time.
Thanks for getting sucked down a nerd hole.
Yeah.
See ya.